still a very bullish market for the most part, still grinding higher. There's not much to do here, to be honest. This is not the phase of the market I want to get involved, unless you're very, very intraday and you're just looking for like a trade for the next 2-3 hours, fair enough. But even if you're looking for the trade for the day, it's always a little bit difficult because you can see how bullish the market is. So of course, naturally, you're looking for buys. But again, I don't like buying the market as soon as we create new highs. This is always territory that gets us ready for a bit of a pullback, which is something I would like to see happen, so I can try and find the next higher low to buy back up again. So the current trend is very bullish. I wouldn't be looking to sell. I think sells are quite aggressive, especially with how aggressive the trend is. It's not as bullish as gold, for example, but this is still a very aggressive trend, so I wouldn't recommend looking to try and short it outright unless you're going to be, again, in and out of the trade pretty quickly. So if you're looking for opportunities for your entity, I would wait for a bigger pullback. I like this demand zone here. Strong impulse, pullback, strong impulse. Perhaps we can get another pullback, take out some of these weaker lows here, and then see the continuation. That could be a smart place for a trade. Back to highs, maybe call it a day beyond that. So still actively looking to buy this. Momentum is up on pretty much all the major time frames, monthly, weekly, daily. So as an intraday trader or even an intra-week trader, you're not so really looking to try and go against that. If you are, you want to be very quick about it. But if you're looking to follow trends, you do have opportunities here, but you do need some pullbacks. Buying here is just a little bit of guesswork, especially just at fresh highs. It's always just a bit of an awkward place for me. So yeah, I'd wait for a bit of a pullback there for your entity, but yeah, still very much bullish on this one. It is a market that is tiring, and I do expect to see not necessarily a reversal, but a bigger counter trend take place soon, but not really seeing any signs of that happening. So not going to dive too much into that detail until we see signs of break of structure and bearish momentum coming in. For now, still looking really bullish, so I'd focus on the buys. We'll take a look at pound USD next. Still crazy, yeah, damn, wow, insane. To be honest, I haven't actually looked to trade gold and silver. I've been very focused on the currency pairs intraday, because gold and silver haven't really given me any opportunities for a swing. The last swing opportunity was like 2 months ago. Since then, we've just been in a roaring uptrend. So if I was looking to trade gold and silver, it would have to be intraday, to be honest, because you're just not seeing the big enough pullbacks. But of course, judging from what you guys are saying with the spread, not really intrigued to trade that intraday just yet, I would say. In terms of pound USD, this pair I am very interested to trade, and I'm looking at a lot more downside for pound USD. I really like the analysis on the higher time frame, even if you expand to the weekly chart just to get a nice overview. More or less price coming back into supply on our left here. This is our last lower high, which gave us this low. Your price is more or less tapping into that area. There's that possibility for a big swing. We're kind of fading at highs. You can see last time we failed at highs, what happened? Price created a high, created a new high, failed, came back down pretty aggressively, did the pattern again. We might see some more downside. So I like where we're positioned. The room to the downside is there. Of course, nothing's guaranteed, but as a trader, you got to deal with probabilities. And we're in an area where the probability for market to see some downside, I would say, is pretty high. So from a top-down perspective, the sells make a lot of sense. Now it's just about finding a good opportunity intraday to take advantage of that. So this is where the patience comes in and just kind of reading price and staying aligned with it. So as price takes out this low, I was generally expecting price just to continue falling. So I'm quite surprised we're having this pullback, but pleasantly surprised because now it gives me the opportunity to actually see if I can trade it. So I'm looking for a pullback kind of anywhere in this zone, 1.34. That's where my attention lies. I do think price is going to sweep the highs here. So any kind of seller's position there, probably going to get stopped out, and then potentially we'll see the move. So over the next maybe 24, 48 hours, I'm going to be eyes glued to pound USD and Aussie dollar. Both of them look really good. And I'm going to see if we can find some opportunities. At the moment, things look pretty bullish still, at least intraday. So I do think price can do something like that maybe for the next couple of days. So they're not ready to be shorted yet. But it's definitely an opportunity which I'm going to be focused on. So as we progress through the days, through the streams, I'll keep you updated with what I'm looking at, and if I can spot a trade somewhere. But at the moment, it's just a little bit too early to say. Aussie New Zealand dollar, yes, we can take a look at that. Excuse me. Pavinator, what's up, my man? Welcome to the stream. How's Kenya? I have no idea how's Kenya doing. I'm in Rwanda. But Kenya is definitely a place that I do need to go check out, to be fair. Aussie dollar was exciting. Got the downtrend. However, missed the update trend. Oh, okay, so because of the pullback, I imagine. To be fair, I'm very interested in Aussie dollar as well. I'm still looking to short it. Yeah. I'm looking at the same thing. You're looking at another bear move before another bull move. Yeah, I'm looking at that pretty much as well. I'm looking for price to come back into support around 0.64. No worries, my man. No worries. Okay, we'll go through Aussie NZD, and then we'll take a look at Aussie dollar itself, because again, that is definitely a market which I'm very interested in. So AUD NZD, again, exceptionally bullish over the past few days, but we are running into some trouble, which is resistance at the high there. Do I still want to be buying this? Probably not, unless I see clear momentum that shows that this resistance is breaking and perhaps we're getting ready for continuation. Then yeah, of course, I would love to take a buy. Would I mind some selling opportunities? Absolutely not, but I do want us to break outside of this range here. So if the market does give me a strong break like this, this will be kind of a textbook continuation, reversal, continuation, consolidation, reversal type opportunity, which I will be more than happy to look for some pullbacks, to look for some more downside, because in that situation, I've probably taken advantage of a bit of retracement because the market's been so bullish. And perhaps we can come back and retest maybe some highs over there as well. So there is opportunity in both directions. Perhaps the market's going to break resistance, perhaps we're not. It's difficult to say because we're just consolidating underneath right now. If you are interested, you can look to buy low and sell high and trade within the range. Not really my interest. I'm a bit more interested in what we can do outside of this, because that's where I would expect the bigger moves to be. So that's more so where my focus will be. But inside this area, that's a lot of noise. I wouldn't try and spend my efforts trying to pick trades inside of here. I just think that's where all the chaos is. Not that you can't make a successful trade. It's just I think the conditions are a lot harder to do. If we could see a sharp breakout, up or down, I think the opportunities become a lot clearer and easier to trade as well. So Aussie, NZD, I would be quite neutral. Yes, the trend is up. But let's wait for evidence that that trend is continuing before we do buy into that again. Or let's see if it does reverse and give us some nice counter trend opportunities. At the moment, I wouldn't really look to do much, to be honest. And as for Aussie dollar, like I said, very short bias on this one, but I am looking for a slightly deeper pullback. Mapped out kind of two areas where my focus is pinned at. So this level here, basically the breaking test of that prior low. Also this big kind of supply zone, we spent a few days consolidating and it kind of gave us this break to the downside. So if the market would be kind enough to retest that, that'll be fantastic. And I'll see if I can swing it all the way back down to this low here, which just rests just above 0.64. So that's where I do expect Aussie dollar to end up. Not by the end of this week anymore. It's already Wednesday. I do think this could maybe be a target, probably more towards the end of next week now. But nonetheless, still looking to try and short the market. So we've had a very aggressive pullback over here, so I'm not so keen to be jumping to any sells. I like my pullbacks quite slow, corrective. Really show me that, okay, momentum is in the direction of trend, and the pullback is just price going against that momentum, very slow, very correctively. So the likeliness of the trend continuing is pretty high. This, on the other hand, is quite aggressive. So this tells me that the pullback probably still has a bit more upside to give before it is time for us to actually get into some sells. So I'm being quite patient, quite cautious with Aussie dollar. The short bias is already there. as long as we don't take out this high here, I will remain very bearish. So of course, if the market was to do something like this, I would rethink everything. But as long as we stay below that, stay nice and corrective, I should be able to find a short entry some point in time, as long as it doesn't happen during the Asian session. If it happens during the Asian session, there's not much I can do. I'm sleeping. But if it's London, New York, and I'm